I want you to hold on to this, point it up in the air, hold on to this, point it up in the air, but don't put them in your mouth and run. Okay, safety first, slightly wider, that's more or less, okay. Good. You are going to attempt to spin 3 balls at one time. In juggling, this is called a filler act. So, hold it up, just like that. You spin this one, it looks like the earth. It's a thing of beauty. Take care of the earth. It's the only one you got, kids. Look at this one. It looks like the earth after global warming. Don't blame me, blame the boomers. Here we go. It's like, whoa, earth out of balance, earth out of balance. Hold on, let's get a little more speed on this one there. A subtle plug for Al Gore. And we're going to spin this one right over here. That one right. Okay, good. Last one. Can she do it on her pointy little head?
Yes.
Yes. Give her a hand. We're wobbling. That was great. Thank you for helping out. You can keep the braid. Yeah, here we go. Excellent. Oh, that was fun. Okay, gyroscopic stability. My favorite topic. It's downhill from there, folks. All right. Our next topic, centripetal force. Centripetal force pushes or pulls inward when you whirl, twirl, or swing something around. A good example is a track ball. A track ball is a toy made up of a track and a ball. If I threw this ball outward, it would go outward. If I put the ball on the track and I send the ball outward, it wants to go outward, but it can't, because the track is in the way. The track is pushing inward against the ball. Scientists need a name for the inward push. Scientists use trackball to help them think. We will call it centripetal force. Centripetal force can be stronger than gravity. It can work in all directions. But if you slow down, it goes away. Gravity wins in the end. But then gravity always wins in the end. You'll discover this in middle age. Our next example comes from China. These are called Chinese meteor bowls, or in the local language, hubcaps on ropes and chain. If I throw this bowl outward, where will it go? It'll go outward. It goes outward. It goes outward. But it can't go very far before it reaches the end of its rope, as your teachers will later today. It reaches the end of its rope, and the rope pulls inward with centripetal force. I want to show you that centripetal force can push inward at the same time that it pulls inward. To demonstrate this, I will put some hydrochloric acid into each of the bowls. Carefully putting a measured amount of hydrochloric acid into the bottom bowl. Carefully putting a measured amount of hydrochloric acid into the top bowl. Well, all right, it's water. I was going to use hydrochloric acid. I thought it'd be really exciting, right? But then somebody goes, if something goes wrong, what about the children? It's a really good point. I should have thought of that. You know, get this, kids. They told me that they love you. And they want you to be safe. And they said, do you have something safer than acid? And I said, well, we could use water. And they said, no, we love them more than water. So today we are using dilute water. Here we go. Throw the water outward toward these kids over here. Hey, you're the ones who wanted to sit in the front, you know? Here we go. Yeah! Darn, it's working. The water wants to go outward, but it can't go very far before the bowls get in the way. The bowls push inward with centripetal force. As you can see, this works up and down vertically. It works side to side horizontally. It works in opposite directions, which is freaky if you're the guy in the middle. Here's the hard one. Going the same direction again. I hate this part. One blow to the head and you stop liking the trick. I don't know what it is. Here we go. Now the one I like, the one I call ninja. Ninja, feminine form of ninja. Stopping. Is there still water in the bowls?
No.
Yes, there's still in the bowls. We'll put the bowls of water over here by the electrical equipment. There we go. Let's see. Oh, pizza. Let's do the pizza. You ever made a pizza the old-fashioned way, right? You roll out the dough and stuff, and then you start kind of spinning it around. You see those guys throwing it? They're throwing the dough outward. It wants to go outward, but it can't go very far because the elasticity of the dough is pulling inward. We call the inward pull centripetal force. Ask for a pizza with extra centripetal force, please. Whoa! That's a bigger pizza. Long ago, our ancestors survived hunting pizza on the open plains. I have killed a pizza to feed my family. I am a man. There we go. Rotation around center of mass. No, let me do it better. Rotation around center of mass. Did I look like a scientist? No? Did I look like a juggler dressed up like a scientist to make money from school children? Yeah. Did I look like a guy who works at Texaco?
Yeah.
Rotation around center of mass. When you flip, spin, or twirl something, it wants to flip, spin, or twirl around a special spot called the center of mass. The center of mass is different from just the middle. To demonstrate this, I have a toy. A toy with no name. It has no name because it was invented after Latin. Some people laughed, some people didn't. Remember, kids, the more you learn, the more jokes you get. Stay in school. Here we go. This has a middle. It's the spot in between both ends. Isn't that weird? You step over just a tiny bit and it goes, zoom. Am I actually here, or is this a dream? That is a good question. Did you read the article? Last year they came out with this article that said that it is mathematically more likely that we are a simulation than a reality. You're just like, thank you for the aneurysm. Now, this has a middle. It's the spot in between both ends. It also has a center of mass. To find the center of mass, I'm going to rotate it. Does it rotate around the middle or around the ball?
Around the ball.
Around the ball, because that's where the center of mass is. There's a spot down here where there's just as much stuff in the short, fat side as there is in the long, skinny side. That spot is the center of mass. And when I rotate it, it wants to rotate around the center of mass. If I squish the ball down to the middle and I rotate it now, it rotates around the middle because now the center of mass is near the middle. And it's faster. It turns out, when the center of mass is near the middle, it's easier to get it rotating faster. With the center of mass off to one side, the same amount of energy makes it rotate slower. This is called conservation of rotational inertia. And if you get it right, you can put an eye out. But we don't have time to meet that goal. Jugglers, we don't like things that rotate slowly. We like things that are fast. Like a juggling club has a center of mass in the middle so that it can rotate rapidly, easily allowing us to do a number of interesting and fun juggling tricks. Would you like to see a few tricks done with the juggling club?
Yes.
Well, you just did. I have some more, though. These also have a center of mass near the middle, allowing me to rapidly rotate them. Sometimes, on a good day, I can drop one, keep going, and pretend like it's part of the show. Sometimes, on a good day, I can even juggle 4. Not today, but on a good day, sometimes, all right, fine. When I juggle 4, I usually do double flips. How many flips is a double?
2.
2 flips. Each club flips 2 times before I catch it again. I was thinking, though, it'd be kind of cool to do a quadruple flip. How many flips is a quadruple?
4.
4 flips, yeah. It goes single, double, triple, quadruple, impossible. Here's what I wanted to do. Start out in doubles, throw 1 quadruple, go back into doubles, and I tried it, and it's hard. But I figured it out using math. Jugglers have a special math called sight swap. Sight swap mathematics is a mathematical model of juggling that is super useful to jugglers. In the math of juggling, odd numbers go from one side to the other. They cross the body. Even numbers stay on their own side. The higher the number, the higher the throw. Sounds pretty simple, right? So we have 1, 3, 5, 7, you get the idea. 0, an empty hand. 2, a hand with a ball in it. 4, 6, 8. We usually don't go over 9. It's like, way up there. So you take a string of numbers and you figure out the average of that string of numbers. And if it's a whole number, you can juggle that string of numbers. For instance, 3, 3, 3. Add them up. 9. There are 3 numbers. 9 divided by 3. It's a 3-ball juggling pattern. You've seen it already. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. What about 4, 4, 1? That adds up to 9 in 3 numbers. It's 4, 4, 1. 4, 4, 1, 4, 4, 1, 4, 4, 1, 4, 4, 1. 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, 1. 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, 1. 5, 1. Add them together. Divided by 2. It's a 3-ball juggling pattern. You get all sorts of crazy juggling patterns that you can find using math. How about 5, 6, 4, 1, 5, 6, 4, 1, 5, 6, 4, 1? Turns out, to juggle doubles, throw 1 quadruple, go back into doubles, is a pattern called 6, 3, 3. Quadruple, 2 crossing singles, back into doubles. The math is easy, the juggling is hard. Quadruple, 2 crossing singles, back into doubles. Did you see it or did you blink? Try it again. Quadruple, 2 crossing singles, back into doubles. Division! Thank you. There we go. Jugglers use math. Who'd have thunk it, you know? Turns out it's super useful. I was working in Denmark, and there was this French lady. She was doing these crazy tricks, and I came up and I go, how did you do the one where you go blah, 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 blah? And she looked at me like, what? She didn't speak English. I don't speak French. So she wrote some numbers down and taught me the trick. We spoke math. Both of us spoke math. Interesting. Rotation around center of mass. Let's move on now to, you say unicycle? No, we don't say unicycle, we say balance. Equilibrium. All right. When you balance something, you have to support it underneath its center of gravity. The center of gravity is different from just the middle. I have a rose, I support it under the middle, it doesn't balance. I need to find the spot where gravity is pulling as much on one side as another. That spot is the center of gravity. If I support it under the center of gravity, it'll balance horizontally or even vertically. I brought a balancing toy. I pulled this out the other day, and this little girl goes, he's gonna ride a unicorn. And this little boy goes, unicorns are pointless. I'm like, how can you justify that statement? Unicorns are all about the point. All right, here's the concept. I'm gonna run up the unicycle here. I'm gonna sit on the seat, move the pedals so they move the chain so it moves the tire under my center of gravity. If I can get the tire under my center of gravity, I should be able to balance. Only, I think I'm gonna do it the easy way here. I'm gonna try it like this. Jam right in here. Basic surface tension grip on this side. I'm gonna die. Here we go. All right, it's always best to do it above poiky things. All right, so here's the idea. I've worked this out on the computer. All right. All I have to do is get the support under my center of gravity, right? And I should be able to balance here. Okay, good. I'm rocking the tire under my center of gravity. This gives me an average of support. It's like alimony. If you get it right, you don't even need the other foot. And I'm thinking here. I'm thinking fewer and fewer people get my jokes is what I'm thinking. I need a helper. I need somebody soft and squishy for my dismount.
I would.
It's so hard to choose. You all look like ants from up here. Here we go. We're going. How about this guy hanging over here? Could you help me? Yeah? Hello. Welcome. You're taller sitting down. But you're bouncy. That's good. Hi. Could you help me? I need 3 juggling clubs. They're over there. Over there in the trunk. Mr. Finger is giving you a clue. That's it. The long, yeah, those guys. Right there. Yeah. 3 of those. 3 of those. Don't listen to the redhead. Here we go. Excellent. Yeah, 2's a good start. This, yeah, just a little higher. Okay. Okay, can I have one more? If they're on sale?
Oh, yeah.
All right. That's great. That's great. One of each color. Is so good. And can I have the big purple ball? The purple ball, the big one. Yeah, that's it. Good. Chuck it up. Chuck it up. Chuck it up. Good up, Chuck. Okay. Here's the hard one. There's a red and yellow stripy stick. Red and yellow stripes. So close. That one is black and yellow. It's got a little red. You're right. Next to it, by the orange end, right there. Right there, red, and yes, that's it, good. We have pattern recognition. Very good, okay. Very good. Okay, good. Now, what's your name? Eaton? All right, Eaton, really? That's better than barfing, I guess. Eaton. So, Eaton, here's what I need you to do. I need you to face the audience and lift one hand up in the air. That's good. And when I juggle these, can you say, ta-da? Could you do that for me? Let me hear you say ta-da. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, so I'll juggle these. He says ta-da. You go clappy, clappy. I'm sorry. I shouldn't speak with my mouth full. I said, here we go. Thanks for all. Oh yeah, give him a hand, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for helping. Good job. Oh, people, look at the time. So many tricks, so little attention span. Stay. Our next topic. We're getting close. We're getting close. That's so cute. They still think chanting will change things. Inertia. Inertia means something moving wants to keep moving. Something still tries to stay still. Things resist change of motion. We're going to do a couple of quick inertia tricks here. 9 boxes. A perfect number for a trick commonly called the 9-box trick. So clever. I take a box, I hold it up against gravity. I take a box, I hold it up against gravity. Gravity never sleeps. We're going to trick gravity. We're going to get the boxes moving in this direction. I'm going to let go of this box. Watch what happens. Did you see for a moment that once moving, it tried to keep moving? That's inertia. Once moving, it tries to keep moving. During that moment of inertia, I can add another box. We're going to try this with all 9 boxes, but I need your help. Put your hands in the clappatory position. Or more precisely, the pre-clappatory position. Every time I add a box, boom, 1 clap for each box. Here we go. Ready? Wow, that's good. Ooh, so good. Third one. Apparently, someone is not clapping. Look at your neighbors. Make sure your neighbors' hands are in the clappatory position. Look at your neighbors. Make sure their hands are in the clappatory position. Look at your neighbors' library records. Forward them to Homeland Security. I got out of here quickly. Here we go. Ready? Okay, who is unclapping? Try this one more time. I've only got all hands in the clappatory position. You people live in the future. What was that? All right, here we go. Honestly, I feel like a blockhead. I will take these boxes. I will shuffle them together. Now that I have shuffled them, I ask you, was that your box? Sorry, wrong genre. Here we go. That's right. You figured it out.
Oh, don't put it
I'm going to swallow them.
What the heck?
on this table, over here, there are many things that are still. The question is, will they stay still when I pull the tablecloth out from under them? Inertia means they will try to stay still. Inertia also means something moving wants to keep moving. I have here a glass bowl. I place it on the pole. What pulls it down? Gravity. What can I do to keep it up?
Spin it.
Spin it. Gyroscopic stability. I get it spinning, and now this is everything we've been talking about in one trick. Gravity, gyroscopic stability, balance. The rim of the bowl is pushing inward with centripetal force. Once moving, it tries to keep moving. That's inertia. Of course, it's rotating around its center of mass. Everything we've been talking about in one trick could have saved a lot of time. Here's the question, though. Can inertia keep 5 glass bowls spinning on 5 poles and keep these things still as I pull the tablecloth out from under them? Remember, kids, many of these tricks you can try at home. 1. So far, so what? Good. 2. Looking good. Seriously, I've worked this out on the computer. Got a new juggling program called Broken Windows. Here we go.
Yeah, that's gonna help you.
Don't worry, they aren't my balls. They're all falling, child. Some slower than others. All right, it's looking good, looking good. Come on, inertia. Here we go. Hop, hop. Eeny, meeny, miny. Wait. Oh, no, I won't do that. I will do that. Wait. That's called like pushing your leg. I got it. Pretty good here. I figured I had too much material, but actually I think we're gonna make it. Quickly, one last trick. The Ladder of Swords. A trick from ancient India. India, where the Hindu mystics performed such incredible feats as Bed of Nails. Ladder of Swords. Microsoft Tech Support. They perform these feats to show they are blessed by the gods and can no longer feel pain. Myself, I do not claim to be blessed by the gods. I merely claim to be desperate for material as I attempt the Ladder of Swords. 5 machetes working together to form one salad shooter. I was doing this up in Canada. This guy goes, salad shooter, huh? You Americans are really into guns. I said, buddy, I got a head of lettuce mounted on my den wall. The concept is simple. I will attempt to walk barefoot up this so-called Ladder of Swords. At the peak of this, I will juggle 3 juggling knives. Now, what's the science behind this here? You know, it's pretty basic. First of all, let me just suggest Newton's second law here. Force equals mass times acceleration. If I stomped on this knife, it would totally cut through my skin. But I'm not going to stomp. I'm going to step slowly onto the knife. Less acceleration of the mass of my foot, less force. Pressure equals force over area. If I stood on the point of the blade, it would be less area, greater pressure, it would puncture through my foot. But if I stand along the length of the blade, at any given part of my skin, there's less pressure. I have spread my weight out across the length of the blade. You probably wonder where you learned something like this outside of Montessori school. Learned this from my Uncle Bob. Bob worked for Ringling Brothers. Bob used to drop by when I was a kid, take off his shoes and say, "This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home." That was it. He'd been doing this for years. He was short a couple piggies. A ladder of Sor. Ladies and gentlemen,